I am Alexander B. Stevens. This is the brand new up-and-coming podcast entitled, What Is He Thinking? The sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes politically incorrect, but always sincere and truthful podcast for the benefit of women from the perspective of men. You've got questions? I've got answers. What's going on? How you feeling? This is Alexander Stevens back in the building one more time to bring you another podcast. And finally, you've been waiting on it. So here we go. Today we're going to tackle the infamous question that so many women have asked so many men in the past. So let's just get to it after this message from the episode sponsor.
Nino's Corner. It's not just a website. It's not just a podcast. It's a brand and a movement. Go to ninoscorner.com, Ninos corner.com to get the latest products from Nino. Go to the book section to find Nino's 3 #1 best-selling books. Can You Love Me? A Memoir, a Tribute, Battles Blueprint, 5 Self-Battles to Defeat for Success, and My Wonderful Life, an Adoption Story. If you need merchandise, we have that for you too. Our custom Do You Signature Series shirts and other apparel will sure to please. Again, visit www.ninoscorner.com, Ninos corner.com for more information.
The infamous question that so many women have asked so many men in the past. So let's just get to it. Why do men cheat? Today's topic, the top 5 reasons that men cheat. But before we dive into that, I just wanted to discuss the myths behind cheating and enlighten you on some information you might not be aware of. Society generally thinks of men as the selfish cheaters. But in reality, as time has gone along and women have gained more rights in our society, the percentage of women that cheat on their men has steadily increased throughout the decades. And if you look at these statistics, actually, according to the Journal of Marital and Family Therapy, 57% of men overall admit to committing infidelity at some point in their lives. And 54% of women admit to the same. So as you can see, 57 to 54%, pretty close to being the same percentage of individuals cheating regardless of gender. Furthermore, if I continue my research and look at other sources such as the Institute for Family Studies, there I find that actually under the age of 30, that women cheat more than men do. So the myth is men are the cheaters and women are the innocent victims. But in actuality, under the age of 30, women cheat more than men. Between the ages of 30 and 50, men do cheat more than women, but it is a slight difference. It is not 90%, 10%. It's more like 52 to 48%, 55 to 45%. That's between the ages of 30 and 50. And it's not until after the normal average age of menopause do the numbers skew in the direction of men, making them significantly more likely to cheat than women. So basically, during the main prime dating years, women cheat more than men, or women and men cheat just about the same. And later on, after the woman's hormones have changed, and most likely her looks have completely fallen off simultaneously with the guy's sex drive being less than it was when he was younger, but still higher than the woman's. Only at that point, after age 50, do men really cheat more than women. So I just wanted to put that information out there so you could be informed of the actuality of cheating and not just the myths and the culturally accepted conventional wisdom. Enough of that. Now let's get to it. Now, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsor, Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First off, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Third, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Next, hey, you can even make money from your podcast with minimal listenership. I mean, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So this is what I want you to do. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. The top 5 reasons that men cheat. These are in no particular hierarchical order. These are just the top 5 reasons that men cheat. Reason number 1, he wasn't that serious about you in the first place. He wasn't that serious about you in the first place. Sometimes men get into relationships due to outside pressure or due to your pressure. But in actuality, he never wanted to be monogamous in the first place. Sometimes men want their cake and to eat it too. They know that you require a relationship, so they will give that to you. But he knows deep in his heart that you're not the woman for him for the rest of his life. Or he knows deep in his heart that he's not ready to stop sowing his wild oats. This reason for infidelity is probably one of the top reasons that women who are in category 2, level 2 of attraction get cheated on. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I refer to category 2 or level 2 woman, then you probably need to stop this podcast now and go back to episode 2 where I discuss the 4 levels of attraction. Anyway, in this situation and for this reason of infidelity, he sees enough value in the woman to still deal with her, but not enough value in the woman to be exclusive to her and to lock her down for marriage. So reason number 1 that men cheat, he wasn't that serious about you in the first place. Reason number 2 that men cheat is because you and most women do not believe in relationship equity. You do not believe in, nor can your man cash in on relationship equity. What do I mean by relationship equity? Well, when you buy a home, you exert a lot of effort to earn money in order to pay your mortgage month by month. And all the money that you put into your house doesn't disappear into smoke. It stays there, it builds up, and most times it actually increases in value. This is why many people call buying a home an investment, while renting is not an investment. Men wish that relationships and the good deeds that they did, the romantic times that they orchestrated, the loyalty that they had in their past, all the good tallies they have racked up over the years, men wish that these things would be enough so that they didn't have to continuously do them. Men feel like they're renting when they are in a relationship with a woman because they are always exerting energy and spending money to continuously try to prove themselves to her or to prove their love to her, instead of her just thinking back on the last month, last year, last 10 years, and all the good things he did, and just taking that long history of positivity as reason enough for her to be satisfied with the relationship. But that's not how relationships work, which goes back to my example that from a male perspective, relationships are more like paying rent on an apartment. None of your past deeds count for anything in the future than paying your mortgage in a house, where your good deeds can stack up over time. And eventually, if you want to, you can go back and get a reverse mortgage, or you can go back and pull from that equity that you've built up. Men wish and want to be able to do that. Men don't necessarily like constantly having to do magic tricks, turn flips, spend big money, and spend on their head for anniversaries, birthdays, and Valentine's Day every single year. So what does this have to do with men cheating? Subconsciously, some men are kind of offended and frustrated by the fact that they have to continuously work for something they feel like they have already earned. They continuously have to do things in order to get XXX action from their woman. They've already professed their love publicly. They've already paid these bills and bought this ring and done countless things over the years that prove that they love them. But still, constantly, if they want regular loving, they have to repeatedly pay the note on this house month after month, even though they feel like they already have the deed to the house. So why am I still paying this bill? I've already paid the cost. So once again, men are like, if I have to exert this much effort for a woman whose looks probably have decreased since I met her, who is less enthusiastic about sex than she was when I met her, if I have to go through all this effort as if I'm a single man to make love with my woman who should be giving it to me because I've already proven myself a good man, then why don't I just take this same amount of effort and energy and give me something new that might be a younger, newer model, that might be more exciting, might just be something different, just something else to spice up life. Part of the reason men get married is to have a constant, consistent source of loving in the household. So they don't have to spend a lot of time and energy going out, spending money trying to find a new source of loving. But if you have to spend almost as much time and energy as you did when you were single with your current woman to get some action, then why not just take your show on the road and see if you still got it and maybe enjoy something exciting and new. So reason number 2 that men cheat is that you do not believe in relationship equity. And he feels like if you're going to make him work so hard for some loving, which in his mind defeats part of the purpose of marriage, then he might as well take his energy and efforts on the road and enjoy a new adventure. Reason number 3 why men cheat is that the man he has to become and the mentality he has to have in order to get a woman in the first place is very different from the man he has to become and the mentality he has to have to keep a woman happy and to be faithful to her. Once again, the mentality that he has to have to get a woman is so drastically different from the mentality he has to have to keep a woman happy and to be faithful to her. And this drastic dichotomy of mentalities that a man has to bounce back and forth between in his lifetime, depending on if he's single at this current point in time or not, is very difficult to do. The mentality a man has to have when he is single is that of a hunter. I would say predator, but that has negative connotations. So I'll just say that mentality of a hunter, somebody that has to go out and get it, somebody that has to make it happen, somebody that's on the prowl, looking for the next opportunity to take advantage of, not take advantage in a bad way. That's the mentality that you have to have when you're single as a man. And what's the primary motivation? What's the primary fuel that keeps the engine going for the red-blooded American male when he is single out here trying to get a woman? Initially and biologically, first and foremost, it's our sexual attraction to the woman. So it's kind of sex, or the idea of potential sex, is what keeps us going and keeps us pushing forward. Because believe it or not, unfortunately, at least I think it's unfortunate, dating and getting a girlfriend is somewhat of a numbers game for men. It doesn't matter how great of a guy you think your guy is. You don't know how many women he had to approach, pursue, be rejected by, date, court, etc., before he got to you and turned the nothingness that you guys had before he approached you into somethingness, meaning the relationship that you have today. You don't know the effort. You don't know the dozens of women that had to fall by the wayside before he actually had a success. So because of all the failure and rejection that you have to deal with during this hunting process, men typically have to build up an armor of self-confidence and I don't give an F in order to wade through this nasty jungle and not have your self-image, confidence, and self-esteem ruined to the point where you just completely give up. Not only do you have to build up this armor, but you also have to become more and more skilled with your rifle, more and more skilled with where you set your traps, etc., etc. I don't have to keep up with the hunting analogy, but basically, it's a learned skill to be successful with women. It takes practice to seem like you're a natural. It takes experience to lead. Dealing with women is a muscle that you have to exercise continuously and get better at before you can bank on any type of legitimate success. Keep in mind, you know how the saying goes, use it or lose it. Anytime you don't exercise a muscle, it atrophies, shrinks up, and becomes less effective. So let's think about what I just said. You have to have the mentality of a hunter when you're single. You have to put on armor when you're a single male. You have to develop your hunting skills when you're a single male. And you have to continuously practice on these skills to keep your skills sharp and not atrophied. Tell me, what do these things benefit you in a relationship? How do these things help you in a relationship? They don't. The mentality that you have to have in a relationship is not an armor to protect you from rejection, but you actually have to be somewhat vulnerable with your woman in order to get that deep emotional, mental, spiritual connection. The mentality you have to have when you have a woman is not a man that's on the prowl looking for the next woman to holler at because it's only a 1% chance he'll have an ultimate success with the woman. The mentality you have to have is, yes, I'm still heterosexual, and yes, I still like looking at beautiful women, but I got to pretend like all these beautiful women around me don't exist. It's like the complete opposite attitude that you have when you're a hunter. The mentality of practicing your skill and exercising your muscle, you can't really do because flirting is cheating to some women, even if it's just a simple flirt. So you have to let your skills atrophy and you have to take the risk that this relationship you're currently in now is the last woman you'll ever have to get. Because if it's not, you basically will have to almost start over from scratch when you become single again and build your muscles up from nothingness. So why do men cheat? Men cheat because flipping the switch from hunter to husband is too difficult. Men cheat because flipping the switch from hunter to boyfriend is too risky because I'm not 100% sure I won't need these hunting skills again. And I know if I don't use them, I will lose them. Men cheat because flipping the switch from hunter to significant other is risky in another way. The confidence, the I don't give an F attitude, the strength of his armor, and the refined silver tongue or witty tongue that he cultivates when he is in hunter mode is what attracted the woman in the first place and is what she finds attractive. So when he switches out of this mode, he runs the risk of losing what attracted the woman in the first place. So he has to switch out of the mode in order to not cheat. But if he switches out of the mode, then he might become a man that she doesn't like anymore, which would also end the relationship. So a lot of men try to walk a fine line and have one foot in, one foot out of hunter mode and significant other mode. So they can, one, keep their skills up, and two, keep their woman interested because they still will have all those sexy qualities that she fell for in the first place. Reason number 3, why do men cheat? Because the attitude and mentality you have to get a woman is different from the attitude and mentality you have to be loyal, sweet, and faithful to your woman. And shifting between those gears is so very difficult. Reason number 4, why men cheat, is gonna have to wait until next episode. So yes, there will be a part 2 to the top 5 reasons why men cheat episode. So stand by and stay tuned for episode 9's release. I have a surprise for you, however. I know you're used to me speaking on all of these topics alone, speaking from my empirical and researched opinion, but I want to shake things up a bit. I want to expand the pool of knowledge that you get to drink from. So I decided to interview over half a dozen different men whom I trust regarding the topic of cheating, so you can hear their take on it. Just a little background information. All of these individuals are in their late 30s. All of them are married and have been with their woman for over a decade. And all of them, as far as I know, are honest, faithful men who do not cheat, but of course have coworkers, friends, ex-friends who might have cheated before. So here is a montage of their answers to the question, Why do men cheat? Alonzo, I know you can't answer this question from firsthand experience because you're a one-woman man that's been with your significant other for over 15 years. But put yourself in the shoes of another man and speak as the representative of men and answer the infamous question.
Why do men cheat?
Man, I think there's a variety of reasons, man. They might have always been like that, number one. Right? They might, they might be weak, a lot of options. There's some cats that I've seen that people gravitate to them without barely even doing anything. So maybe they like to sample, you know what I mean? Maybe there's something missing. Maybe from themselves, you know what I mean? I do believe, and some people just like the sport, the game of it, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's like a trophy thing. They've been competitive from the jump since a kid, you know what I mean? And they just need to be known as the man, That's what I think, what I believe I've seen and the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I've never cheated before. On one hand, I can halfway understand it. On the other hand, I'm like, why make a commitment if your word doesn't mean nothing? Then you don't mean anything. If your word doesn't mean anything, as far as I'm concerned. I do,
I do think some things happen. I don't think that everybody who's trying to do it is trying to hurt or doesn't want to be in. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's probably all different reasons for each individual, man. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Tony, I know you're a happily married man with 2 kids, so this question doesn't specifically apply to you, but you weren't always a married man. So can you answer the infamous question?
Why do men cheat?
I think I think it is strictly biology. We have evolved as beings to want to procreate, to keep ourselves alive. So we have, and it sounds like an excuse and I sound like a dirtbag, but I think men have this inherent drive to be with as many women as possible. And I think that that's how human species has spread, because men were ensuring that they were going to pass along their genes. So I think that the science behind it is absolutely there. I think the physiology and the chemistry of it is all there. And it's simply about that sexual aspect to it. Now, emotionally cheating, I don't really understand. I think that's just checking out of a relationship. That's breaking up. So if we're talking about that just means you're just moving on to somebody else, that it's not working. And then the sexual side of it, I'm not a cheater, I'll say that, but the sexual side, I think is just strictly biology. That's all of it.
Nathan, I know this question doesn't directly apply to you because you and your girl have been going strong for over 12 years. But you're the most popular person that I know, so I'm sure you've seen from the outside looking in other individuals partake in this practice. So here's the infamous question that women ask me every month, and I need your take on it.
Why do men cheat?
Man, there's a lot of reasons that go behind it. A lot of times, and I feel like this is one of the mistakes that I've seen, whether it be psychologists or women, they try to prowl into it like, whoa, why? If A plus B, it must equal C, and they're mentally feels like there always has to be a reason. But I feel like there's multiple reasons. Sometimes dudes be bored. They looking for something new. Sometimes, they don't necessarily feel like they're getting the attention, the ego stroke, and some of the things that they're looking for. They want a sense of feeling wanted. There's never going to be a female in life that's always going to show you the physical attention and the attraction that you might be yearning. And a lot of times you could just be at the wrong situation, the wrong time, and you find yourself looking for that attention elsewhere. So, I feel like there's multiple reasons. Sometimes it's flat out the dude don't like the chick no more. There could be multiple reasons. I wish there was a singular reason, but no, it comes in many shapes, forms, and fashions. I think humans in general like new. Humans in general like what they can't necessarily have. And, sometimes temptations just overtake the soul.
Yep, sometimes the flesh is weak to temptation. Carl, I know you're not the cheating type, but you're a man, so I need you to answer for mankind. Here's the infamous question.
Why do men cheat?
Okay, well, I'll say everyone's human, right? Everyone's human. And I think, sometimes physical attraction just kind of outweighs the risk. This whole kind of risk it all, you've seen that risk it all meme. I think it's a risk it all mentality where some people are, like, hey, my need there outweighs the risks. Like, like lose my house, lose my kids, lose my family, or lose whatever I've built. I mean, it just kind of outweighs it. So it's like, I'm just going to go for it and let the consequences be damned, type of thing. I think that happens. Like I said, people are human. Some people, I think it's more of like a, have my cake and still eat situation as well, where, hey, I did the societally expected thing. I got married. I have the kids in the house, but I still belong to the streets. I think that there's still that. I think I mean, I can say I know people who are like that. Or it could just be a need at home that's not being met. I mean, that could be a real thing too. It's like, hey, whatever we used to have, we just don't have it anymore. Somebody who's close by at work or something, provides that, nurturing that ear to listen on before it becomes more than just a friendship. I think people are human and people fall, man. I think that's the biggest reason.
Yeah, I hear you. There you go, bringing up work again. What kind of office are you at? You know what I'm saying? Maybe I need to switch jobs. It seems like it's popping off at your job.
It's not the Weinstein office, I'll tell you that. So I'll leave that alone, man.
All right, then. Reyes, I know you work as a pastor. I know you and your wife have been together since the early 2000s. I know you're a one-woman man, but you are in a fraternity in college, and you have friends and family members and things of that nature. So you've seen this go on. So I'd like for you to speak on it. Please answer this question for my What Is He Thinking audience.
Why do men cheat?
Even the best men. I've seen the best men go down, but it's always been like opportunistic. But I think men cheat because it's almost hard not to. Women, I mean, God created a beautiful thing when he created a woman, you know what I mean? Like, man. But I don't know, it's been different reasons. I mean, I've seen men cheat because they're not happy at home. I mean, I've seen men cheat, but I've seen women get with known cheaters. I mean, he cheated on you before y'all got together. He cheated on you while y'all were engaged. What were you expecting? I've seen that. So, I mean, there's a whole bevy of things why men cheat. I mean, I guess the better big question would be like, what could keep men from cheating? And that, and then what keeps me from cheating? I mean, I love my wife. I don't want to hurt her. I mean, when I say I love her, I mean, I truly actually love her. Like, for somebody who's had my back, for all this time, all these years, and, who's really ridden me through thick and thin, sickness and health, richer or poorer, because we didn't experience all of that. And, she's always had my back. We stuck together. It wasn't a hard time as it, she didn't make it any tougher. She always said it was going to be all right. Had my back, even if it was a crazy idea that I had for us to get out of the situation. She would voice her concerns, but to still have my back on the thing, like, okay, I don't know, but let's go.
So you think the number one reason men cheat is?
I think
because they're not happy, because they were just cheaters to start off with, because women are too beautiful to only sleep with one, like
all of that. That's what I'm saying. It's all of that, because like it's not just one reason. Like I've seen men, like I've had frat brothers who were, just I guess what you would consider sluts, and now I see them. They're the best dads, great marriages, and great things. So they, and then I've seen it the other way. I've seen guys who've never cheated or never ran out on anybody. That wasn't even in their DNA. But now, they're getting divorced because they cheated on their wife. So, which comes down to maybe they weren't happy. Maybe they got married for the wrong reasons. Or maybe you got married for lust, out of lust instead of love. Maybe it was your first time, really getting that thing, and, you just didn't know. But there's been all kind of reasons why I heard guys cheat, So I can't really pinpoint it to one. Like, I've seen the happiest guy in a relationship cheat. I've seen the unhappiest guy in a relationship cheat. You know, I've seen the richest. I've seen the poorest. Shoot, I can't. Well, if you answer that, if anybody else can answer that question, you know, let us know. But I could ask 20 guys that question. I can ask 20 cheaters that question, and each one will give me 20 different answers.
You're not giving my women any hope here. You're not giving them any hope. You can do better than this, Reyes. But all right, I guess we'll move on. We'll move on to the next question. Of course,
But there is hope, because there's guys out there that don't. But I mean, when men cheat, there's no particular thing. I mean, just keep doing you. I mean, doing what you do in your relationship. Keep doing maintenance checks in your relationship. You know, hey, ask your partner. You know, ask him, hey, I know we're together. I know we've been together 12, 10 years. You know, are you still happy? It's a general question. I don't know why people are scared to ask it.
That sounds like direct communication about important issues. So, you know, that Americans are allergic to that. I need to get behind a computer screen. Now I can talk about serious stuff when I got that internet paywall of protection. But face-to-face, nah, that's not what Americans do.
And I know that's a sad and terrible thing, but I don't think it's a bad question to ask your partner or your spouse, or, you know, not at all. Like I said, like you take your car to get maintenance, your relationship needs maintenance.
True, I hear you. Enough interviews for now. I will have more interviews on the next podcast. I would like to thank Alonzo, Anthony, Nathan, Carl, and Reyes, respectively, for sharing with us their perspective on the topic of cheating. All right, that should just about wrap things up. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to what I have to say. And if you found any part of this episode helpful, thought-provoking, or intriguing, please share it with a friend. The more people I can help, the better I feel within. If you have any questions, any suggestions for new topics for me to discuss in the future, or if you need any clarification on anything I have spoken on, please just shoot me an email at whatishethinking@gmail.com. whatishethinking@gmail.com. Or you can send me a message via my Anchor website. All you need to do is go to anchor.fm/whatishethinking/message. anchor.fm/whatishethinking/message. Go there, leave me a couple words, and if it's constructive, I will definitely get back to you or keep your thoughts in mind when I record future podcasts. And never forget, I'm not here to tickle your ear. My only goal is to tell you what you need to know. I'm not here to offend. I just want to see you win with men. Well, until we meet again,